Hello everyone, it's Heidi here from the Nest Kids CPR and Allergy. I hope you're well today. So today's topic is going to be your first aid kit at home. Okay, so apart from the virtual first aid kit, which you can get at the bottom of every page on our website at thenestcpr.com, there is also a few things that you should probably have at home for just in the case of an emergency. And although, I think you can make your own very decent first aid kit at home without spending a huge amount of money or, getting a really nice fancy box. So the first aid kits that you can buy ready-made in shops they're fine, but often they're full of things that actually you don't really need and that are quite unnecessary. There's often a lot of plasters or band-aids. In the UK we call them plasters. And just a lot of things that maybe aren't that useful. And I just believe that you could make your own first aid kit at home with the things that you already kind of have there. So we'll just talk through them today and what it is that you need. So for a basic first aid kit supply, the first thing that you could have in your supply, which you can obviously find anywhere, is sanitary towels. Now, rather hilariously, I had a dad in a CPR class that we did quite recently, and in front of the whole class he stopped me and he said, "I'm sorry, what's a sanitary towel?" And he just didn't know what it was, and everyone laughed, and it was really poor thing, he had no idea. So, and obviously he was very embarrassed when he realized what it was, and he's like, "Oh my god, I wish I hadn't asked that." So sanitary towels, especially if you've recently had a baby, you're very likely to have them anyway. But really handy for any kind of bleeding, because obviously they're designed to capture heavy blood loss. And for if you get those, head injuries or nose bleeds or anything like that, like the child is not going to know what sanitary towel is, they're not going to care, but they're really, really handy to have because they're much better than any cloth or towel or flannel or face cloth that you'll come across. So have a couple of sanitary towels in your first aid kit, really, really, really handy. The next thing that you would need is just some clean towels and linen. So anything to mop up, spills, blood, or, just to keep someone comfortable, to roll up under someone's head, or, someone in the recovery position having it behind them, anything like that. So clean towels and linen. Sometimes if you need them to just cover a wound, an open fracture, something like that you wouldn't move, but just cover a wound or something like that. Really, really helpful. The next thing would be just to have some tape. It doesn't have to be any specific tape. It could just be normal sticky tape or sellotape or electrical tape or anything like that, because it's really that's just really designed to keep something in place, like some cling film on a burn or a sanitary towel somewhere, until you get help. So it's all just, a lot of the time the first aid is really just until you get help. So it's all very short-term solutions. The next thing is cling film. So cling film is what we use for burns. And this is something that we will talk about in our classes. We talk about burns. Very important to have cling film, which is what you would cover a burn with just until you went to get help again, okay? The next thing is bandages. So this maybe is something that you wouldn't necessarily have in your home, and you can get at any chemist. So I think just having like 2 or 3 different size bandages for your first aid kit would be really, really helpful. So they're the only thing that I think you would have to specifically go out and buy for your first aid kit. Soap, so any kind of like non-scented soap for cleaning out wounds, gravelly knees, anything that needs washing out, then I think, just normal soap. We know that with this coronavirus that it's killed with normal hand soap and hot water. Okay, so don't underestimate the power of normal hand soap. It doesn't have to be all singing and dancing. You don't necessarily need hand sanitizer with this new virus. Just normal soap and water kills the outer layer so that the inner layer can be penetrated. And the same with detergent, but we just need hot water, okay, when we're washing our clothes. Anyway, coronavirus is another thing. We'll talk about that another day. The next thing that we could use is muslins. So any kind of large muslins, the big square muslins that we could use to create a triangular bandage. for slings, so that you put the arm across the middle there, and you can, what I always do this in the first aid classes, because it sounds really simple but it's quite confusing, is that you want to make a triangle from your square muslin. And obviously it needs to be big enough. If it's an older child, young babies, it's very easy to use any size muslin, but you want to create a triangle by folding it over. And then the point of the triangle, so the top of the triangle, would go to the underneath the elbow. So imagine if you've got your arm across your middle, so that your arm is horizontal across your middle. If it's been injured or dislocated or something like that, then you would pop the point of the triangle underneath the elbow, and then pop the two ends over from each side of your shoulders, so that you can then tie up at the back. Okay, so again, we go through that in our classes because it can be very confusing. And the last couple of things that are handy is just things like lollipop sticks or wooden spoons that you can use just to keep an arm just supported, just very carefully supported, or a finger that has, misshapen, or a finger that maybe is very, very sore and you want to just keep it straight until you get some help. So lollipop sticks or a wooden spoon. So anything like that, just keep it really simple. We're not going to be strapping these things tightly because they're going to be sore and we don't know what kind of damage is underneath, but just they can help just to keep something, just to kind of give it a backbone, if you like, until you receive help. So I hope this is helpful today. It was just a quick one for us about first aid kits. If you don't need to go out and buy an expensive first aid kit, these things would be mostly helpful for any kind of scrapes, bruises, dislocations, burns, bleeding, all those kind of things. So if you haven't already, go to the bottom of every page on our website and grab our virtual first aid kit, which you can download. And then if you are an allergy parent, we have our allergy and anaphylaxis masterclass, again, that you can grab at the bottom of every page on our website. So take care, and we will see you again next week. Bye-bye.